Welcome back, treasured guests. I remain, as always, your host. This next hour is made possible by a contribution from Mark Packer of Belleville. Mark writes, "To my lovely partner, organism Bella. After 15 years of dating and another 10 of cranial parasitism, you have made yourself completely indispensable to me in my medulla oblongata. I love you." We go now to Brett in Libertyville. Brett, the universe is listening. Brett, are you there? You're live on the air.
Huh? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm exhausted.
You do sound fatigued. Out of it. Nearly not fit for radio.
No, sorry. Please don't dump the call, alright? I'm desperate, and I haven't slept in like 3 days.
Do you have any read on the cause of your insomnia?
I'm trying to stay awake because when I sleep, I live with my brother, okay? And 3 days ago, he woke me up in the middle of the night, real worried about what I was saying and doing in my sleep.
Sleepwalking is a thing. You may find more use from referral to a sleep specialist than to the celestial consciousness.
It's not just that I was sleepwalking. Our sister used to sleepwalk. He knows what that's like. Here, he said it was like I was perfectly awake. I claimed I was this guy Francis from 1895.
1895. Fascinating. Must be a prankster, time traveler, or lunatic. And every time you fall asleep, this personality re-inhabits your body.
Yes, so far. I've fallen asleep 4 times since then, and every time, as soon as I drift off, that's when I wake right back up as Francis.
This sounds like some variety of astral cohabitation, which can enable walkers to live in other people's persons temporarily. It's supposed to be a shared experience, very unfair to have it happen without your knowledge or consent.
Look, I don't give a crap about consent, or whatever PC bullshit. I'm just mad that this is happening without my permission.
Well, let's see what we can do about it. If you laid down now, how long do you think it would take to fall asleep?
At this point, not long. Seconds.
Good, because if this is astral cohabitation, it means that there's someone else out there causing it. Maybe if I talk to him, I can convince him to stop.
Okay, here I go.
Wait, Brett, don't sleep yet. Before you do, set an alarm on your phone for 90 seconds and then switch this call to speaker. We want to talk with whoever's on the other end of your spiritual phone line. Let's see where this goes, listeners. Francis? I'm a friend of Brett's. Just relax and let's chat.
It's nice to talk to another woman. So far, it's just been the same dim-witted brother time and time again.
Another... Oh, so you're a woman. I had been thinking Francis with an I instead of an E. I have to ask Francis, why are you hurting him? The poor man can't sleep.
I am not trying to hurt him, ma'am. I just need him to sleep a full night, long enough to complete the astral cohabitation process and reach stasis.
I suspected you were practicing AC. You're clearly not a novice. Did you study the 19th century theosophists?
In fact, I am a 19th century theosophist.
Don't pull my leg, Francis. Is that true?
Well, my work parallels theosophism. I take a scientific approach those magicians don't understand.
It's true you're from 1895, like Brett said.
It's so true that it's the reason I'm cohabitating with him. Not only am I denied the support and recognition of the scientific and esoteric communities as a woman in a man's world, as an Afro-American in a white man's world, I can't even rent a workshop in the part of town with good electricity.
You're trying to escape.
Exactly.
So when you say stasis...
The cohabitation becomes stable enough for the entities to escape the elastic pull back into their original body, and in this case, time.
Oh, no, you can't. You can't switch places with him without his consent.
If I ask him, he might say no, and I can't risk that. Successfully cohabitating across more than a century and connecting with a white man is a 1 in a million shot. This wasn't my first try.
Well, I have to tell him.
You can't. I might never get another chance. I want to use the technology of tomorrow as someone with the authority to use it. Believe me, I have earned it. Working in hopeless isolation is the best I can expect in my time.
I don't doubt your struggle at all, Francis.
Then you'll understand when I say...
Brett?
What?
Brett, it's your host. Are you awake?
Oh, yeah, I'm still tired.
Brett, you need to know something. First of all, Francis appears to really be from 1895.
Unbelievable. That's so unfair.
Wait, what's unfair about 1895?
It's unfair that I get this guy from 1895 inside my head, but I don't get to kick around in 1895. It was literally like the Wild West back then. White Earp?
Wyatt Earp.
Yeah, it was that time. You could roll into town, tell them you're a lawyer, and be a lawyer, and they'll go find a sexy paralegal for you. You could travel to where land was free and start a farm, hire a few cute cowgirls, live your life. You could knock on the door of a bank, ask to be a banker, and they're like, welcome aboard. Here's your smart, but not smarter than you, secretary. Who's hot?
You could be a banker now, too.
Sure, but not with such little effort or planning. And the secretaries are different.
Brett, don't forget that 1895 was a different time in other ways, too. Child mortality was common and life expectancies were low. Racism was law and women didn't have the right to vote.
Granted, but at least slavery was over, and women got to vote basically around then.
24 years later.
Yeah, around then.
I don't mean to push your buttons, Brett, but your privilege is showing. The term Wild West implies both massive opportunity and barbaric behavior. Historically, the entire period took place during Jim Crow.
I grew up during a time after racism was over, though. And I could wipe it out after a few generations, having non-racist kids with women from various communities and mellowing the whole society out 5 to 10 years earlier than it otherwise would have.
So if I told you that by going to sleep for a full night, you would wake up in Francis' body, potentially living the rest of your life from 1895 onwards, that would interest you?
Oh my God, yes. Oh man, screw my job. Screw Candace. Screw this apartment, which is in Dave's name anyway. I'll build a raft, live like a Huck Finn, see where adventure takes me.
I wonder if you know what you're getting into swapping spots with Francis. Do you understand where I'm heading with that?
Absolutely, I do, host. But this might be my only chance to tame buffalo. Or marry into a tribe of natives. All without finishing my degree, which is what my mom wants.
Jim Crow. Suffrage. These things are going to matter a lot to you as Francis. Because those are things that matter to Francis. Because Francis is a
Don't try to talk
woman.
me out of it, host. I may not be an alpha in this timeline, but I'm still an ambitious beta with a logical mind, and I'm not going to change my positions on important topics just because I'm in some other guy's context. Which, by the way, is what exactly? Is he a cuck or something?
Knock yourself out, Brett. Nearly literally.
I don't get it, but I'm pretty tired, and I've got to get my life stuff together before I pass out and warp out here. Thanks so much for your help, host.
To be frank, I'm kind of bewildered by this entire call. But I can say sincerely that I hope you get something like what you want, provided no one gets hurt along the way. Not optimistic, but somewhat hopeful.
All I want is the option to become a dentist just by borrowing enough money to buy a bag of dentistry tools. After that, nothing but subservient hygienist and easy streets.
Wow, what a strange situation. If the universe is listening, let it be known that I'm sure the listeners wouldn't mind getting an update on either of these budding time travelers. I don't envy Brett, although maybe he will become a banker dentist with little to no effort, although somehow I doubt it. Do call back in somehow, Brett or Francis. Let us know how you're doing.